Okay. Every single letter we have to pronounce it. Fale, fale, fale. All right. And then when you get real good, you can talk like, the uncles and aunties and mom and dad. They just fly right through everything. And then, but when we're starting off, it's just like a bike. Just say it slow. Fale, fale. Okay. How do we pronounce this one?
Tangata.
Tangata.
Tangat. Yep. Tangata. Tangata. Yes, exactly. Tangata. And remember that G right there. The G is pronounced like this. N-G. Tangata. Tangata. There's never, ever, ever gonna be a time where you say Tagata. Tagata. It's never like that in Samoan. We're always gonna say, it don't matter what word it's gonna be, a G is always pronounced like this. Nga. Nga. Ever is gonna be a G. It's never gonna be a Tagata. All right. Now let's say, how do we say like that K style?
Kangaka.
Kangaka.
Kangaka, yeah, kangaka. So all right, yep, kangaka. So if we say K style, that's gonna be the K, and that's gonna be a K. All right, and then usually like when people say the K style, it's gonna be, you. I guess I wasn't saying it right. You're not gonna hear like kanata. A G is a G. So put it that way. A G is a G. It's not gonna be kanak. I can't even say it right. We won't even go there because it's wrong anyway. Kangaka, kangaka. So K, you turn the T to a K. All right. So T's can be K or T's can be T. Either way. All right. And this was we said this one specifically last week. How do we say this one?
Malia.
Yeah.
Malia, Malia, because the R is, our R is not native to the Samoan language. That's something that was introduced. So a lot of people, a lot of Samoan speakers, they translate the R like a L. So Malia, Malia. You might hear people say, Maria, but that's maybe they know how to pronounce the R. But if anytime you hear someone say Malia, and you're like, what? Is this not a? But that's because the R, a lot of people will pronounce the R like a L. All right. 1, 2, 3. How do we say this one?
Lao.
Lao. Lao. Lao.
Yep.
Lao. Lao.
Yeah. Lao, Lao, Lau. Oops. Lau and Laau. Lao, Lau, Laau. 3 different words. So remember this taufi right here. It's not almost. It's like a letter because it changes the whole meaning. When you put it right there, it's going to change the whole meaning of it. And again, remember, a lot of people, because they know the context, and so they just omit it. You won't see it online a lot of times. People will just leave it out because they know what they're talking about. And from one Samoan speaker to another Samoan speaker, they'll just leave it out because they know the difference between, in context, they know the difference between your, which is Lao, and my, Lau. All right. And tree, Laau. Laau. Okay. So you have to observe those. So for now and here, we try to pronounce. I try to catch all of them and write them down so that everybody knows what we're talking about. So Laau. Okay, here's a statement in the chat. Laau is possessive like mine. Yeah, it can be. Yeah. So Laau actually means my, and then when we're talking about mine, it's a little bit different, but we'll get into that. What's the difference between Lao? I don't know Lao. That second part, I don't know that one. But we'll get into that. We'll get into the possessives in this lesson too. Okay. Yeah. Malo. Yeah, we'll get into that. And then Uso. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was supposed to ask you guys that. My bad. Moving too fast. Yeah. So well, I already said it. So Uso. So that's like brother or sister. And just as to interject something, a lot of people think that Uso is like just to like
Male.
brother, but from male to male, or but it's also, it could be sister too. Like you can say, two women in Samoan culture can say, uso, and this, because it's woman to woman or girl to girl, because girl to girl, it means sister. Woman to woman, it means, sister. So, and man to man, it means, brother. Okay. Um, but if it was me to, let me see, Rhonda, me to Rhonda, if Rhonda is my sister, I am her tuangane. Let me write it out here. Tuangane. Okay, so this is gonna be, we're gonna be young. I don't mind being young. So girl to boy, girl to boy, and then if I was to refer to her, I'm not gonna say my uso because she's she's a girl. I'm gonna say tua fafine, tua fafine. Okay, so this is gonna be boy to girl. So I refer to her as my tuafafine. She refers to me as her tuangane. But when we're talking about uso, it's not just boy, that's my brother. It could be boy to boy, brothers. It could be girl to girl, sisters. All right. But when the sexes go like cross, then that's when we have a tuangane. That's me. Tufafine would be Rhonda. All right. So I just wanted to throw that in there. How do we pronounce this one? Oops.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah. So remember when we have the Fatma Mafa, we're stretched. It's almost like it's gonna be two U's in a row. So we just stretch it out. Ooh, ooh, right? Ooh, it's like two U's. So, but we stretch it out. Ooh, it's not like like in English where we have a E, and then it like you know, well, let me not use that example. I don't think I could explain it correctly. Just two U's is just gonna be, it's the same sound, we just elongate it. Instead of ooh, it's gonna be ooh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh. All right. We sound like an owl. Ooh, oh, our friend, a friend. How do we pronounce this one?
Fana fana.
Yep, ma fana fana, ma fana fana, ma fana fana means warm. Okay. And then how do we pronounce this one right here? G style though.
Ma fanga fanga.
Ma, exactly, ma fanga fanga. So the ends can be pronounced like G's. So we can take these ends and pronounce them like G's. All right. But it doesn't work the other way around. Like if it's a N word, like it has to be, it's not gonna be like a um like, okay, like the word I think that would be confusing. So like this, if you see an N, you can pronounce it N or a G. But if it's a G word, not an N, yeah, if it's supposed to be a G word, like I don't want to use fanga. Oh, okay. Here it is. Ngaluenga. Nga Ngaluenga. All right. So this right here means like job. Okay. We wouldn't pronounce this like naluena. Nalu the G is not interchangeable. Okay. It doesn't go the other way. If it's a G word, then it's just pronounced ngaluenga. That's it. It's not gonna be the other way around. All right. But a word like this, ma fana fana, we could say ma fana fana, or we could say ma fanga fanga. Everybody understand that? That one throws some people, especially now, because a lot of people do use it this way, ma fana fana, ma fanga fanga, but ngaluenga will never be naluena. At least I never heard that. I never heard that before. Okay. So no questions. All right. So we'll get off of that. Worksheet of nouns found at the class page on pacificapages.net. So if you're on here, then you have access to this. If you didn't get the email, hopefully everybody did get the email. But there's a whole list of nouns that you can download on all you gotta do is just type in of the email that you got. You go pacificapages.net, and then it's the Mato Zoom class, and then you put in your password. Week 1, let me see if I have the week 1. Okay, yeah, right here. So here's the class. If you missed the first class, you can just go right there. All right, and just play that. That's the whole class, starting with the pronunciation, if you feel lost. Or if you also feel lost, and if you want to meet on Sunday, the Sunday coming up, it's going to be, what day is that? It's going to be the 9th. The 9th at 11 a.m. California time. All right, which is my time is Midwest is 1 o'clock. East. Oh no. Oh, you know what? Thank you for saying that. Man, my wife makes plans for me. I wouldn't even, it's Easter, so I don't even know where I'm going to be. Never mind. No, just watch this video right here. This video. Thank you for saying that. I swear I never know. I don't even know what day it is now. AEIOU. So just push play, and it's gonna tell you everything that we knew from talked about on Tuesday. All right. Here's some other audio, and these are just native speakers just speaking. Here's some definitions. All of this is going to be on that link that you guys were sent on your email. All right. Someone else or some translation. Oh, mafanafana just means warm. It means warm. Or so mafanafana or mafangafanga means warm. All right. So let me go back to, how do I do the, all right, our slides. All right. So that's pronunciation. So we pretty much wrapped that up. And now we're getting into subjects. A subject is a person, place, thing, or idea. We learned this in grade school. And it's basically what it is, it's a noun, right? So the way that we break it down, and we did talk about this on Tuesday. So we're breaking everything down by phrases. The first thing we're going to talk about is the subject phrase. Now, the subject phrase, again, is going to be a person, place, thing, or idea. But we're going to talk about the noun or the person, place, thing, or idea that does the action. That's all we're talking about today. Don't worry about anything else. So if we're looking at this sentence right here, the girl told me at the game. Who's doing the action in English?
The girl.
The girl. Yeah, the girl. So that's what we're identifying right now. All we're doing is identifying the girl. All right. So we're going to get this first in English, and then we're going to talk about how to say it in Samoan. All right. The car is in the front. So who's doing the action, or what's doing it? What's the subject of this doing the action? The car. That's all we're identifying. So in the first sentence, we're identifying the girl. The second sentence, we're identifying the car. That's it. Okay, great job. All right, now in the Samoan sentence structure or phrase structure, when we're just talking about a subject, all right, there's a certain way that we say things, right? So the first thing that we start off is with this O. And if you've been around Samoan language, you've been around people that are talking or speaking Samoan, you'll hear like O, and then they'll say what it is that they're identifying. All right. So for example, you'll see ole fale. So this right here, fale is what? Anyone knows what that means? House, right? Means house. So the O is a subject tense marker. So when I say tense marker, we're talking about presently. It could be in the past, it can be present, but every time when we're talking about a subject, all we're doing is we're saying it presently is. So it doesn't matter if we're identifying something. It is the bottle, it is the clock, it is the wall, it is the house. In this case, it is the house. So that's what the O is. The O is a present tense marker. We're just saying ole fale. it is the house. All right. But when we're talking, when we translate it to English, we don't always say like, oh, it is the house. We just say the house. Right. So this loses a lot of people because we don't say it is for everything. Even in Samoan, sometimes you'll just hear le fale or, you know, yeah. So sometimes you'll hear that. Most of the times, Samoans will include the O in there, but that's what it is. It's just a present tense marker. We're identifying something. So ole fale. So let's go back up here. Anyone know how to say girl in Samoan?
Hanging.
Teine.
Teine. Yep, teine. Or if we want to say the other way, we're going to say kenge. Either one, but you guys exactly right. So we're going to say, so the girl by itself is teine or kenge. All right. And then we put our O in there. So we're saying it is, and then we're going to talk about this word in the middle. That is our limiter. So we're saying it is the girl. It is the girl. So if we see, maybe I got a crush on somebody, I'm walking down the hallway and there's, I'm standing by my locker and there she go, and I say, ole kenge, or ole kenge Lea. And, we'll talk about Lea and all of that. This is the girl, or, whatever. It is the girl. I'm not sure if you guys can see my highlights or not, but it is the girl. Okay. Car. Anyone know how to say car?
Kavale. Kavale.
Ta'aval. Yep. Ta'avale or ka'avale, just like you guys said. Ta'avale or ka'avale. All right. So that's how we say car. Now, we wouldn't just say ta'avale by itself. If we're identifying it, how will we put it? How will we start it off? Put it that way, because we didn't talk about the middle part yet. We're missing
Ole. Ta'avale.
oh, oops, yep, there it is. Oh, well, I'll leave it lowercase. Ole ta'avale. There it is. So it is, and then the car. It is the car. All right. So we're gonna talk about with the le in on this next slide. So right now, all we're doing is we're just talking about the subject phrase. The subject phrase is the doer of the action. All right. So now we have ole fale. So what does this mean? If we say ole fale, the house, yes, the house. Or if we want to be all the way, like say everything out, how do we say? Well, I mean, what does it mean?
It is the house.
It is, and I'll put it like this because, like I said, we don't always say, in translation, we don't always say that. It is, and then the house. So in English, we probably just say, yep, the house, ole fale, the house. But if we want to say it all the way out, including the O, so nobody is lost about what the O is, it is the house. So it is the house, or just the house, just like you guys said. Great job. Lika. Lika is somebody's name. So how do we say, never mind. I'll just say this one. It is Lika. All right. It is, or it, let me just say it. So it is Lika. And then the last one, we haven't talked about any of this stuff yet, as far as la'u, or does anyone know what binisnisi is? Binisnisi?
Business.
Business, exactly. So it's just, I guess it's adaptation from English. So binisnisi is business, and then la'u. Anyone know la'u? My. Yeah, and if you don't know, don't worry about it because we have a whole lesson on la'u, lo'u, all of that stuff, but I'm just throwing it out there right now. So, and then it is, and then my business, they might say it like business. Do you include the le? Yes, you have to. Well, on which one? Motu. So when do you include the le? So I think, I think that will be better answered when we talk about the next slide, because I think we're going to talk about limiters on the next slide. So the question was, when do you include the le, like olefale? All right. So, yep, here we go. So we're talking about limiters now. Limiters limit the noun. So like in English, we probably would say any noun. What's the last one we talked about? Ta'vale. In English, we would say, instead of car, we would say cars, right? Samoan does not have, the Samoan language does not have where you just add a S to it. And a lot of people are confused about that are trying to learn Samoan, because instead of saying something like they'll say instead of saying like uso, they'll say usos. Yeah, my usos is gonna come over. There's no such thing as Samoan, no. We don't do that. So just for these 8 weeks, get it out your brain. Don't do that. We're gonna do it the Samoan way, okay? So there's no usos from uso. We don't do it like that. We don't add a S. The plurality of a noun, what makes something more than one in Samoan is going to be the word that you put in front of it. Okay. So for example, car, like you've already stated, is ta'vale. Okay. Car is ta'vale. All right. But if we wanted to say cars, multiple cars, if we wanted to say cars, we would say o ta'vale. Okay. If we wanted to say the car, like one car, the car, then we would say ole ta'vale. Now you see here, up here, there's no limiter. And I'm gonna go through this a little slower too, so don't fret. So cars, all right. Well, let's say, even if I say it is the cars, so it's multiple cars. Oops. It is the cars. All right. So there's multiple cars here. All right. Because there's no limiter, but we're talking about a specific set of cars. O ta'vale. So you come to my house and I have my fleet of cars out here. O ta'vale. Cars. It is the cars. But if I want to talk about one car, one specific car, then I'll say ole ta'vale. The car. It is the car. It is. I keep putting this in parentheses because, like I said, in English, we don't always say this. We don't even acknowledge it for real. Okay. But in Samoan, it's going to be ole ta'vale. It is the car. The car. The word in front of the noun is what limits, makes it singular or plural. Okay. No questions on that. So let's go through some
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, like, say if there's a group of girls, you'd say otene.
Otene, yep. Girls, it is the girls. Girls. It is the girls. Girls. Yep. Okenge or otene. Like, there's multiple girls. There's nothing to limit the girls. And that's almost similar to this one. But on this tama'itai, which is a word I think we talked about last class, is like lady or woman or women. Lady or woman. But in phrase structure, like for example, ole tama'itai. Okay, the lady. We're talking about the specific, singular specific lady. Ole tama'itai. But if I take the limiter away, which is le, and le is gonna be like we take that away and we just say o tama'itai. Now we're saying it is the ladies, or ladies. Sorry about that. All right, someone has a question here. Onitene. No, that's some ladies. Some ladies. It's a little bit different. We're gonna talk about ni. We're gonna talk about so we're gonna differentiate between onitene and otene. They're both of those are plural, but there's a slight difference on those. But that's correct. It's gonna be some girls. It's more than one, but it's non-specific, and we're going to talk about that. That's what Mark said in the chat. We'll get to that. We'll come right back to that. So otamaitai, this is a specific set of ladies or women. It's a specific set. Otamaitai. So up here we have a singular woman or singular lady, ole tamaitai. And then down here we have a plural set because there's no limiter. There's nothing to limit that, but we're still talking about a specific set. Okay, otamaitai. Okay, these are the ladies that run the office. You know, when you know, the supervisor is goes out of town or whatever. Otamaitai. All right. So again, plurality is controlled by the limiter, not by adding an S. So let's get out of that habit, at least for the time that we're talking. That's AP, Samoan class stuff I'm still learning. Oh yeah, I don't know what's the AP.
Advanced
Um,
placement.
Oh, okay, advanced. Okay, all right, yeah. So, oh no, so but we're gonna talk about that here now. So I guess we're advanced placement because I didn't know that's. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that right now. There it is, right there. So you asked about the knee, or you talked about the knee. So there it is. So this is this when we're talking about a subject phrase. Don't worry about anything else. All we're doing is identifying stuff. You see a glass, then you say, we'll call a glass or like a dish, ipu. So ole ipu, ose ipu, oni ipu. So we're going to go through each one of these. So the main ones that we're going to talk about right now, le, singular and specific. This is equivalent to the. Okay, you could either write notes on this, or you can also just look at the video. You know, because all of this whole slide will be on there. You guys can just, you know, rewatch it. Ose ipu. It's a dish, so it's not specific. So if I say, yeah, I just want a dish, you know, give me a cup. Give me, you know, this one, the first one is ole, so I want the cup. All right. The second one is I want a cup. And then here's the one that you were talking about, Motu. I want some cups. So it's plural, but it doesn't matter which ones that you know, just bring me some oniipu. Like just bring me some oniipu. Oni ta'avale, some cars. Oni fale, some houses, some you know, whatever noun you want to put after that, that's it's okay. But right now we're focusing on the middle word that makes it plural or not. So le is singular and specific. The singular non-specific is se. That's a. The plural of a is going to be some, okay, or a few or whatever. Ni, all right, some. O ni, whatever noun you want to put there. And then if there's this right here, is if there's nothing at all. So like, for example, right here, if we say otama itai, we're talking about multiple ladies, multiple women, but it's a specific set of women. Because you know, if I go, you know, these are the women right here that you know, that are on the job. Otama itai, and then whatever we say after that. We're just identifying these are a specific set of women. There's no limiter right there at all. Okay. So that's what that is. So it's the multiple specific specific set of women. All right. These can also be limiters. Lau is my, okay. Lau is your. Lana is his, her, or its. Like when I say it's, like, you know, a pet or some, you know, or even a car, you know, we're talking about a noun, you know, something that belongs to an it, okay? And then it could be ours, which we'll talk about all of that. But if we can get this concept down first, my, your, his, her, or its. Lau, lau, lana. So if I were to say, Gelfongi. Gelfongi is telephone, a telephone. So if I wanted to say, it is my telephone, how would I phrase that in Samoan?
Olau telephone.
Yep, ola'u kelfongi. Yep, telefoni, kelfongi, tele. How do I spell that in Samoan? Oh, okay. Ola'u kelfongi, ola'u telefoni. Okay, so that's all it is to it. We put our O and we're just identifying it. It is my phone, my telephone. Ola'u telefongi. If I wanted to say it is yours, it is your telephone, then I would just say ola'u telefoni. All right, it's your singular specific telephone. All right, if I wanted to say it is hers, or her telephone, or his telephone, or its telephone, let's just say Sparky got a telephone, the dog, o lana telefoni, o langa telefoni. Okay, so that's all it is. This word right here in the front not only makes it a singular, but it also provides possession. Okay, so my lau, your is lau, lana is his, her, or its. All right, and then we can also, if we wanted to say this telephone, lene. If we wanted to say that telephone, lena. So, well, let me go back. So if I say olene telephone, olene telephone. Okay, so it is this telephone. It is this telephone. Olene telephone. Olene telephone. If I want to say it is that telephone, olena telephone. Olena telephone. Okay, it is that telephone. All right, these nay, o nay telephone. All right. It is these telephones. Okay, multiple. And then ona, those. So you would have to just, you'd have to memorize lene, this, lena, that, ne is going to be these multiple, and na is going to be those multiple. And if you notice the difference between lene, which is going to be this, and these, if you just want to make it plural, you just take away the le, right? Take away the le. Write it out. So to make lene a plural, all we're gonna do is just drop the ne. I'm sorry, the le, to say ne, right? So this turns into these just by dropping the le. All right. Though I'm sorry, lena, which is that, turns into those just by dropping the le. All right. This, that, these, and those. It takes a little practicing, because on these, I mean, not only are you trying to remember, okay, it goes before the noun, but then also, to make one thing singular, one thing plural, we have to drop that. It just takes a little practice. So get your practice in. And there are some worksheets which come out of the workbook and all of that. And I'll show you guys all that. So these are our main limiters that we're focusing on right now. After our limiter, so we have the O, we have our limiter, right? And then we have our noun, whatever the noun is. Okay, teine, which is girl, right? And we do have let me go to our worksheet or our website. You can download these definitions right here. Oops. Copy link address. Okay, I'm gonna put this in our thing. So just in case you don't already have it, you can download some definitions and just create your own subject phrases, right? So if it's lao lao, which is like a table, then you just, it is the table. It is my table. It is some tables. Okay. Just make your own. And the more you practice, the easier it gets, and the more fluent you'll become at doing this type of these type of translations. Okay. And take that off. And then after the noun is the word that describes the noun. And this is another place that throws a lot of people off. Really, all it just takes to overcome it is, again, practice. So, osetene, what does osetene mean?
It is a girl.
It is a girl. So if we say it is a girl, great. Now, if we wanted to say it is a, give me any, or if we wanted to say, it is a pretty girl. It's a pretty girl. How do we say that?
Osetene aulele.
So go ahead.
Osetene aulele.
Aulele. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So osetene aulele. So a lot of people, if English speakers, would probably put the aulele in the front, because that's just how we do in English. We would say ose aulele tene. It doesn't sound right in Samoan ears, because the word that describes the noun goes after the noun in Samoan. Okay. This just, all it does is just takes a lot of practice when you're, instead of saying ose, it is a girl pretty. It is a girl pretty. It is a microphone big. It is a clock white. It is a clock. I have 8 clocks here. It is a clock red. It is a clock blue. The word that describes the noun goes after the noun in Samoan. So you see right here, aulele means pretty or beautiful or whatever. It goes after our noun of taine. So it's like, again, it just takes some practice. So, okay, so I guess before we go all the way into the adjectives or the words that describe it, let's do this one together. So I think we already talked about this. So the word for house is fale. So these words right here are just words these are our nouns. So let's fly through these real fast. How do we say the house?
Lefale.
Olefale.
Olefale. Yep. Olefale. All right. A boss.
Sepule.
Osepule.
Pule.
Yep. Osepule. And then you'll hear
Some
especially here in America, people will say posi. That's I think that's like a knockoff word of English. Some trees. How do we say some trees?
Onilao.
Lao.
Yep. Oni la Oni laao. Laao is, it's right there. Trees. Okay, so some trees. Some trees. All right, some trees. How do we say the sky?
Olelangi.
Olelangi. Yep. So we're talking about a singular specific sky. So olelangi. All right. The plans. How do we say the plans?
Ole
Fuanga.
fuanga.
Yep. Ole fuanga. Yep. Ole fuanga. Yep. So no. Let's do it again, because I wasn't looking at it correctly. How do we say it?
Fuanga.
Ofufuanga. Yep.
Oh,
My
yeah.
bad. My bad. Yeah, that was actually a trick question, and I tricked myself. So, because we're talking about multiple plans, but they're
Right.
specific. So if I say Olefufuanga, we're talking about the plan, the one plan. But if I say Ofufuanga, we're still specific, but we're talking about a specific set of plans, the plans. Okay, so Ofufuanga. All right. So the state. How do we say the state? Yep. Olesetete. Tete. Yep, ole se tete. Ships.
Va'a.
Ova'a.
Ova'a, yep. Ova'a. Right. And then conversational Samoan people might just say va'a, but just for our purposes here today, we want to say it in the full subject phrase. So ova'a, it is it is the ships, or in English we might just say ships, ships. But we're talking about a specific set of ships. All right. So some beds.
Oni moenga.
Oni moenga. So we're talking about some beds. Some beds. It's multiple beds, but they're not specific. We just said, man, we're here. We don't have nowhere to sleep right now. We just need some beds. I wish we had some beds. We would sleep on the floor. We need oni moenga. Some beds. A book.
Ositusi.
Ositusi.
Osetusi. Yep. Osetusi. We're talking about a singular book, but it's not a specific book. I just need a cat in a hat. It don't matter what it is. Osetusi, like a book. A book. It is a book. All right. It is a book. And then the street. How do we say that?
Ole awa'anga.
Ole awala.
Yeah. Ole awala. Awala. Ole awala. The street. It is the street. Again, all we're doing is we're identifying what something is. So that's a great exercise. This is what I did when I was learning Samoan several years ago, is I would just walk around and I wouldn't just say the word. I wouldn't just say fale. I wouldn't just say pule, la'au. I would say ole fale, ose pule. I would not only identify it, but put it in the whole phrase. These are all subject phrase in Samoan. The subject phrases in Samoan. Ole fale, ose pule, oni la'au, ole langi, ole fufuanga. These are all full subject phrases. Okay. So that puts you one step ahead of just learning like Google stuff. Google is just gonna say fale. Google will just say pule la'au, but we're putting it in a whole phrase. Okay. Got about 14 minutes. Adjectives. Okay, so we already kind of touched on this already. The adjectives go after the actual noun. So right here, we see oleaso. So O, that's our O, right? We're identifying that it's our present tense marker for our subject phrase. Our limiter is what makes it singular or plural, specific or non-specific. And then our noun is aso, which is like day. And then matangofie means like magnificent, it can mean beautiful, just adjectives of that. So oleaso matangofie means the magnificent day. Again, so the adjective in English, the way we translate it, we would say the magnificent day, right? But in Samoan, we would say the day magnificent or the day beautiful, well, however you translate matangofie. So oleaso matangofie, all right, the magnificent day. Same thing with like osetene manaya, a nice girl. It is a nice girl. And you probably heard that song, like Tene manaya means pretty girl. It could also mean pretty as well. But in Samoan, the basic point I'm trying to get across, this adjective comes after the noun, completely opposite of English. So it's just something that you just have to practice. Okay. And we do have some practice worksheets, and you just do them all day until you just get it. All right. And then here are some common ones right here. Again, matangofie means like magnificent or beautiful or awesome, or those kind of words for matangofie. Manaya can mean pretty, can mean nice. Okay, fo is new. Like my wife just bought a ta'avale fo. What is a ta'avale fo?
New car.
New car. Yep. So ta'avale fo. Fo comes after the ta'avale. So auleanga. Leanga is bad, but auleanga is ugly.
Ugly.
Yeah, ugly. So auleanga. So ole tama auleanga. The ugly boy. So ole tene aulele, the beautiful girl. the pretty girl. All right. Lene, we talked about Lene. So Lene could go before. Let's go back up here. That's why that's on that slide. I forgot about that. So Lene. Okay. All right. Lene can go before, right? But it can also go after. It could also go after. So we could say Lene Tene. Lene Tene. Or we can also say le Tene Lene. All right. And let me I'll ask this, and I guess if we don't get it, then I'll go back and really thoroughly say it. What's the reason we wouldn't say o Tene Lene? Oops, Lene. Why wouldn't we say it this way?
Because Tene is plural, and it would be saying this girl's, the tenses wouldn't match, right?
Right, exactly. Thank you. And then Mark said it as well too. So if you see right here, this says otene. This means girls, it's multiple girls, but then we're gonna follow it up with a singular adjective, right? So it doesn't match. Just exactly just how we said it doesn't match. So if we're gonna put the lene in the back as an adjective, then we still need to keep this singular. Oletene lene. All right. So you can say olene tene, but if you're going to take the lene and put it in the back, then you still have to keep this tene a singular. Olene tene. I'm sorry. Oletene lene. Okay. So this right here is the one that wouldn't make sense, only because it doesn't equal to that. That might make sense to some people if you're have a mathematical brain. Otene is plural, lene is singular, right? So it doesn't compute. So we have to say oletene, the girl, all right? It is the girl. And then we put this. So put it all together. It is this girl, or just this girl. Okay. Again, if you have questions or if you're confused, we're almost done here. We got a few more minutes. You can just show up on Sunday, 11 a.m. California time, and then we can go over whatever you're confused about. I don't want anybody to fall off.
I thought you said you're not doing it because it's
Oh,
Easter.
yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I forgot. Easter. See what I'm saying? Man, that's the kind of brain I got. So, all right, too white is late or old. Yeah, don't show up Sunday. Even if I'm here, don't come. So too white. All right. Malosi is strong. All right. Poto is smart. Sese, you see the Fatma Mafa right there, is wrong. Sa'u is right or correct. La Po'a is big. Like Titi is small. Valea, stupid, like me being right now. Fia is happy. Fa'anonoa is sad. So these are just words that describe your noun. Okay. And you can put any noun and then put this word after the noun, and it just describes it. And just about every single time the word goes after the noun in Samoan. Okay. All right. So again, this is this, that, these, and we kind of already talked about this. The new part is these words right here. So lea. Sometimes these, you'll hear people say it in front. Most of the times, lea will go in the back. So let me just get some examples of these. So if I were to say, what's the word we just ole tene lea? So we could say ole ne tene, or we could say ole tene lea. So these words will just go after. So if we say oletene lele, like that girl way over there, or even farther than that, oletene lale, like way over there. So the ones that are in yellow go after, but some people will say, like, they'll say like olele I don't want to say that because I've never heard that before, but some people will argue with you online all the time. I don't want to talk about stuff I've never heard before, but o le teine lele, okay, o le teine lale. All right, so these ones right here, I always hear after, lea, lele, lale. They mean the same thing, but it's just another way of saying it. But the lene, or lene tene, or lena tene, or lela tene, we can say it like that, or you can take the lene and put it in the back as well. Or le tene lene, or le tene lena, or le tene lela. All right, so the ones in the white can go before or after. The ones in the yellow typically just go after. And I know that might sound a little confusing, and I'm probably rushing at this point, but I want to make sure we got. And these are the plural versions of them. Nay. So and we talked about those. Ia. So o teneia, like these girls. And again, these would just go after. These would go after as like an adjective. Okay. Only 5 minutes left. All right, I talked about this already. I'm just leaving it up there just for the recording. Okay. All right. We'll start here next time. Does anyone have any questions? We'll stop right here because I feel like I'm rushing and I don't want to rush through anything. Limiters, adjectives. Okay, we've got one question. So is ne and ia interchangeable or has uses? Okay, yeah. So ne and ia. So let's go back up here. So yeah, they're interchangeable, but the only thing is like what's the last thing we said? Ole, not le, but otene, ia, and then we could say onetene. So these are, I mean, they pretty much mean the same thing, but we wouldn't say oyetene. This takes on a different kind of meaning. So that's why these the ia would be almost always in the back. So that's why the ones in the yellow would be, you would only more so say them in the back. Someone else might say something different, but I've never really heard it like that. It would actually mean something different. Where's that? Hopefully that made sense. Otene ne. Okay, so otene ne. Yeah, so these girls. So okay, so Mark is asking, is otene ne. Otene ne isn't right. Yeah, so it depends on what does that mean to you? So if you were to say what how would you translate that? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. So otene ne. Harley Mark. Oh yeah, it's the same. It's the same. But what I was saying is if you try to say o oiatene, then that's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be something else. Yeah, so the ia is always gonna go in the back, okay? I can use that sentence with ne at the end. Otene ia, otene ne. Yeah, so they're pretty much interchangeable. Yeah, hopefully I didn't confuse you. So otene ne, otene ia. So these girls, otene ia, otene ne. But it okay, does that make sense? But you know, like if you were to try to say "oh yeah, tene," that's gonna be. It doesn't sound right, and then it actually you can make it mean something else if you wanted to. So that's why the ones in the yellow would go after. It would only go after. I probably rushed through this part right here, so it's probably not making it as much sense to everybody. But okay, yeah. So let me just go back up because we only have a few seconds left. All of these right here, those would be after the noun. Okay. But the Lene can go before or after. But if you're gonna take the Lene and put it after, just make sure you say like Oletene Lene. All right. But you know, the Lea, almost always these are gonna go the Lea, Lele, Lale, you know, these are gonna go after. All right. So we're at our time. If you have any questions, if I confused you toward the end, feel free to hang around. I'll be here. My kid, he's already in the bed, so we're good. Your new mic sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I was using the camera mic before, so it was really bad. So I'm glad it sounds better. Oops. All right. So if you have any questions, just hang around. I'll just wait around for you guys, whatever.